Now, some cultures burned witches and engaged in human sacrifice, but you share the same morality as them. Like you, their morality was based on reducing suffering, creating order, being fair, and more. And you too would want to kill witches if you believed in the devil and that some people sold their soul to the devil to do his evil work. The difference between you and the witch hunters is they believe witches exist while you don't. Your disagreement with witch hunters is about facts, not fundamental moral values. Consider, too, human sacrifice. Many of the people who engage in human sacrifice had different beliefs than you, not different moral values. Would you object to human sacrifice if you believed in an afterlife, a God who commanded the sacrifice, the many utilitarian benefits of the sacrifice, like rain for the crops, and that the sacrificial victim consented to their fate? Your disagreement with those who practice human sacrifice is mostly a disagreement on factual grounds, not a disagreement of fundamental values. So in the Elements of Moral Philosophy, James Rachels uses the example of Eskimos who sometimes killed newborns. It sounds like the Eskimos had a very different morality until you learn that they did not have the resources in the harsh Arctic environment to feed everyone. The Eskimo mother allowed her child to die because the alternatives, older children dying, those alternatives were worse. Again, our apparent moral disagreement with the Eskimos is not a disagreement in fundamental values where we both feel an obligation to care for the young. The disagreement arises because of the different environments and factual claims at work. In this harsh environment, you too would probably choose to sacrifice one child to save two older children. And when two people disagree about a moral obligation to get vaccinated, they usually disagree on scientific claims, not on the goodness of reducing unnecessary suffering. For example, Bob may want what is best for his son, but he does not believe in the moral obligation to get his son vaccinated because he believes the vaccine will harm his son. The apparent moral disagreement between pro and anti-vaxxers is about factual claims, not value claims. So the bottom line is people overestimate the moral differences in different cultures and in different times. At a fundamental level, we share many fundamental values like fairness, the desire to reduce unnecessary suffering, and the golden rule. And this should not be surprising since we are all members of the same species on the same planet. Let me read the following from Peter Kreeft. He says, "The essential content of ethics does not vary much, no matter what era, place, race, religion, culture, or philosophy we look at. No one but Nietzsche ever seriously called for, and no one ever succeeded in creating, a wholly new moral system, a transvaluation of values, as he called it, in which arbitrariness, self-indulgence, egotism, cruelty, injustice, forced, deliberate lying, and arrogant, sneering superiority were virtues, while wisdom, self-control, altruism, kindness, justice, reason, honesty, and humility were vices. So it's psychologically impossible to experience a moral obligation to live the set of vices in the first list, or to experience guilt about living the set of virtues in the second." So what do you think? Is that correct? When talking about morality, are we overestimating the differences among different cultures and times? Also, whether talking about morality, religion, or anything else, why do some people see the similarities and some the differences more?